The Marion County man accused of killing his wife and 4 children leaves a haunting trail in Jacksonville. Investigators believe that is where Michael Jones stayed at his ex-wife's home after he killed his family and drove around with their bodies. Jones is charged with second-degree murder in the death of his wife, Casei Jones. He's currently on suicide watch. News for Jax reporter Corley Peel spoke with Michael Jones' ex-wife tonight and has more on the timing of Jones' stay at the ex-wife's apartment.
Sarah Jones says she never noticed anything unusual about her ex-husband, Michael Jones, when he stayed at her Jacksonville apartment off and on for a few weeks. She and Jones share 3 children.
He was playing with his kids every day. He was taking them to the pool. He was talking about a future with them. There was absolutely nothing that would have piqued in my mind to say, oh my gosh, I think he did something.
On September 14th, she says Jones left after learning his wife, Casei Jones, and 4 children were reported missing. He told Sarah Jones his marriage with Casei was crumbling.
My understanding of their relationship at that point was that it was a bit contentious. And he seemed to think that she was doing something devious and trying to keep his daughters from him.
The next day, Sarah learned her ex-husband was arrested in Southeast Georgia after the bodies of his wife and 4 children were found. Investigators believe Michael Jones killed his wife and children weeks prior and drove around with their dead bodies in his van. During that time, he was staying at his ex-wife's apartment.
I asked my oldest if his van had ever smelled strange or bad. And he responded saying that Dad said that there were cats around his trailer and he thought there might be a dead cat in the car.
Sarah Jones says the children whose bodies were believed to be stuffed in her ex-husband's van used to play in her apartment.
It haunts me every day. The images I have of them running around my apartment. Why them and not us?
Hey guys, and welcome back to Crime Journal. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get into the case. Casei Jones was born December 23, 1986 in Goshen, Indiana. She graduated from Elkhart Memorial High School in 2005. Casei became a stay-at-home mother at their residence in Summerfield, Florida, to 4 young children, ages 10, 5, 2, and 1. Her children were her life, and an evil man came and took all of that away. Casei and her children will be missed very much by family and friends. July 10, 2019, Casei and her husband Michael would get into an altercation after she went through his phone and accused him of cheating on her. She picked up a metal baseball bat, poking Michael in the stomach with it. Michael grabbed the bat from Casei and repeatedly hit her in the head with it until she succumbed from her injuries. The next day, on July 11th, Michael strangled his 2 stepchildren to death, Cameron Bowers, 10, and Preston Bowers, 5. 2 weeks following these incidents, Michael drowned his 2 biological daughters, 11-month-old Ayana Jones and 2-year-old Mercalli Jones. Michael left the bodies inside the family home for weeks before putting them inside of totes and suitcases and putting them in the back of his van. He continued to drive around with the bodies in the back of the van for a couple more weeks. He drove over the state line into Georgia, where he would dump the bodies of the children in a high wooded area and keep the body of Casei in the back of the van. Michael continued making posts on Casey's Facebook, so nothing seemed obvious. Attention wouldn't come to the family until Saturday, September 14th, when Casey's mother called the Marion County Sheriff's Department to do a wellness check on her daughter. She was concerned about Casei after she had not heard from her for several weeks and was scared that her husband Michael Jones hurt her and the children. Police went to the residence of the Jones family. Looking through the windows, they noticed the house looked like it had been empty for some time. They walked around the outside of the house and started to smell decomposition. Police obtained a search warrant for the residence. Once inside, they saw discoloration to the baseboards and carpet. Casey's family said they had prior thoughts that Michael was abusing Casey and the children. On September 19th, Michael crashed their family van in a minor accident. A short time after police arrived, they smelled an awful odor coming from Michael's car. They searched the car and found Casey's decomposing body in the back of the van in a plastic storage tub wrapped in a blanket. Michael was taken into custody for questioning. During questioning, he told police that he would lead them to the bodies of the children. Michael stated that he killed Casey because she wouldn't leave him alone. He then panicked and killed the children because they were a part of Casey and he was mad at Casey at the time. Michael took detectives to the children's bodies in a wooded area. He would be transferred from Georgia to Marion County, Florida jail, where he was charged with second-degree murder for his wife Casey and 4 counts of first-degree murder for the 4 small children. Michael was being held on a no bond at the county jail and was facing the death penalty. In November, Michael would plead guilty to all charges, but his lawyers insisted that it was due to Michael having a dysfunctional childhood and pushed for a life sentence instead of the death penalty. They told the jurors that Michael was sexually assaulted by his father and abused by his stepfather while he was little, and he was hearing voices in his head telling him to commit the criminal acts. The jury would ignore all of the comments made by Michael's lawyer and would recommend the death penalty to be given. On April 28, 2023, Michael Jones was found guilty of all charges. He was sentenced to death for the murder of the 4 young children and a life sentence for the murder of his wife Casey. If you or anyone you know needs help with a domestic violence situation, please don't hesitate to call the hotline at 1-800-799-7233.